Hi there, this is Harleen and I'm coming to you from Soul Therapy. I am a multidisciplinary psychotherapist and a life coach. Today we're talking about the feeling of being abandoned, the feeling of losing hope, the feeling of giving up. For that, I want you to take a walk with me down the garden. Tell me something. When you see a tree with fruit on it, can you tell for a fact, with complete reassurance, that every fruit on that tree is going to be sweet, luscious? What if a fruit on that tree has worms in it? What if a fruit on that tree has a bug in it? I'm sure if you think about it, at some point in your life, you or someone you know would have eaten a mango, especially at the end of the season, with some bugs in it. Would you blame the gardener for it? Or would you blame nature for it? But then again, is there anyone to blame? No, I feel that that is just the course of things. That is how nature sometimes plays out the events for you, because nature has its life cycle too, right? Just like that, when a gardener has a thought in his mind, has a seed, a fruit, or a flower that he needs, he goes out, invests in finding the best seed that he can for that plant, the best quality that he can, and then he plants the seed. But does he stop after that? No, he nourishes it. He gives it all the nourishment it needs: sunlight, water, compost, manure, whatever it takes. And he tends to it lovingly, day in and day out, as it starts sprouting, becomes a sapling, becomes a strong plant, starts to flower, and then eventually begins to give fruit. And then, once the fruit comes in, sometimes he finds a fruit that is delicious, that is so luscious, that it gives him hope, it gives him encouragement to then make a business out of it. He has surplus fruits, he has surplus uh, results of his hard work, that he is about to make a business or use that result to create something bigger for him, to go towards the next step of his life. But sometimes he also finds a fruit that has worms in it. It looks beautiful from the outside, but when you open it, it's not okay. It's inedible. It has bugs, and it uh, gives that feeling of just being wrong. Would you blame the gardener for it? Would you actually punish the gardener for a fruit that has worms in it? It's not the gardener's fault in this case. Yes, in retrospect, when you think about it, maybe the gardener could have done something better. But keep in mind, that same effort, the same tender loving and care, gave him a fruit, gave him a plant that did well. And on the other hand, it also gave him a plant that didn't do well. And sometimes it's on that same tree where some fruits are amazing and some not so much. The gardener here, my friend, is you. The seeds here, the saplings here, are your desires. It's your dreams, your aspirations, the things that you want to run after. The fruits that the gardener is looking for is the successes that you want in your life. It's the credibility, the fame, the relevance, the identity. It's the things that we humans seek after, the most sought after things. Depending upon where you are, the sapling, that desire, could be as simple as a JEE exam today. It could be a NEET exam. It could be doing well in college. It could be a relationship. It could be a family issue. It can even be something larger. It could be maybe funds that are uh, that are inappropriate. It could be anything and everything under the sun, really depending upon where you are in life. But when things go wrong sometimes, it's not necessarily your fault. That is my message today, right? And this comes especially during the period of the Suicide Prevention Day. Losing hope, feeling abandoned, giving up is not the answer. Would you recommend the gardener doing that? Would you recommend the gardener and tell the gardener to just pack his bags and go find another profession? If he is able to find success with his other plants but failed at this, maybe there is a reason for it. Maybe he tried to plant a seed or a plant that was out of season. That can also be the case for us, right? Maybe we tried to set up a business that flopped initially because for some reason the environment, the variables, maybe our own mindset, our own capacity and capability was not right. That does not mean that you label yourself as a failure or someone who is incapable of doing well, let's say at business or at a job or at a task, whatever the thing may be. Things go wrong. That's what nature is all about. Look all around you. This is the biggest lesson that we learn from nature, right? When things are fine and hunky-dory, does it always stay like that? No. Nature is about balance. While there is a lot of good that nature gives you, there is also bad that comes along with it. But the bad becomes worse or worst when you take that as it being worse and put that into your head. When a fruit has worms, when a plant is not flowering, don't necessarily blame the gardener. Don't blame yourself. Figure out what went wrong. And then, if needed, try again. If you're after the same plant, the same fruit, the same desire, come back with more competency and skill and a better strategy. Maybe it'll work. If it is an out of season plant and you then plant it in a season which is more lucrative for that plant's growth, it will flower. It will do well. Your aspirations, your dreams are exactly like that. And sometimes you realize that the kind of care, maybe the kind of attention that that plant needs is something that you don't have the bandwidth for, right? And you learn that only by making a mistake. It does not make you a failure. It does not make you a loser at all. It is just learning. You have done it yourself and figured out that, I definitely don't want to do this. For instance, I definitely don't want to become a doctor because it means studying for the rest of my life. Or I definitely don't want to become a lawyer. I definitely don't want to become someone who's into taxes, right? A CA, because it means staying on top of the laws and the governing bodies for the rest of your life. Maybe that is not the kind of person you are. Maybe it does not align with your own value system and core. That does not make you a failure. It makes you a success because you have the ability and the strength to actually identify that, I tried to plant this, but now I know that I really don't want this flower, this plant, this dream, this thing that I'm after is not for me anymore because it doesn't align with who I am as a person. And having that kind of self-awareness and accepting it and having the courage to just own that decision and then run after a different seed or different aspiration is what life is all about. Don't be hasty on yourself. Don't be quick to judge yourself. That is my earnest request. Again, on the Suicide Awareness Day, I would like you, all of you, to make a mental note of the blessings that you have in your life, the plants that you're trying to nourish, the fruit that you're running after. Make sure that whatever you're planting today works in your ecosystem. If you're going after a fruit, that would mean decoupling from your personal life. Ask yourself if that's what you want. If you are trying to gain something in your personal life which will take you away from that high growth path that you want in your professional life, think about it. There is an answer for every question. Being self-aware, knowing yourself, is the biggest gift that you can give yourself, because once you know yourself is when you will also learn to use experience, and you will gain an experience and become a veteran gardener. That is the difference between a novice gardener and a veteran gardener. And as you learn to listen to yourself, your instinct, your self-awareness, and accept your failures as stepping stones, as just building blocks into figuring out who you are, you, my friend, are going to flower into the best flower there can be of you, because you are unique and there can't be any other flower as beautiful as you. Take this time and appreciate yourself. This is Harleen Bagga signing out. Like, subscribe and share the video, and stay tuned for more. Thank you.